Hey everyone, Chris here from Rideshare Stories. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for different things within the rideshare industry, whether it's updates to what's going on, news, tips and tricks for passengers and drivers, or what actually happens on real rideshare rides, start now by hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Also make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. Yeah, so as you see from that intro video, there was an incident where a passenger started punching the driver and actually spit in the car. Pretty crazy stuff. This is a video that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. I'm going to go over the news article first so you can see it, and then we'll play the video of what had happened after that. But still, this is completely unacceptable behavior from anybody, so it's just getting out of hand a little bit. So this is the article right here, so if you want to check this out, a link will be in the description below. It's from KKL9, a CBS affiliate in Los Angeles, and it's called Caught on Camera, Passenger Punches Spits at Lyft Driver After Being Asked to Wear Face Covering. So it's a really crazy situation. And it says, a Lyft driver was punched and spat at during a July trip in Torrance after the driver asked the passenger to put on a face covering as required by Lyft. According to the driver, Pedro Cubias, the passenger began to escalate the situation after a subsequent dispute over whether the driver took her to the correct destination. So now it is escalated not only because of the face mask issue, but also because the passenger put in the wrong location and he drove to the correct drop-off point that he saw in his app, and it made her further upset. Still absolutely no reason to either put your hands on anybody or spit at anybody, especially during a pandemic. So he said that he took her to the destination that it said on the app. Stephanie Cubias, the driver's wife, said she was already mad because of the mask, so she got more mad because apparently the location he took her to wasn't the one she had requested, but when he looked at the app, that was the location. So again, now you're getting pissed off at making your own mistake by putting in the wrong location where the driver is going to drive to, because that's where we're told to drive. So if you made the mistake, then still not something that should be done. So then he said that he did not turn on the camera until after he asked the woman to put on a face covering and she started yelling at him. He can be seen on the video asking her multiple times to get out of the vehicle. So what the craziest part of that whole thing is right here is you didn't turn on the camera until after the woman had put the face covering on. I would always suggest, if you have your dash camera, make sure it's on and running the entire time you are driving. If you want to save certain footage, then you can cut it out and save that footage if you need it. Or you can even turn it on and off when you don't have somebody in the car. But I would highly recommend keeping it on, because if you have a forward facing, if anything happens that way, you're covered. Also, especially what happens inside the car with the interior facing camera. Highly suggested always having it on whenever you have a passenger in the car. And with that being said, let's get into the video and see exactly what had happened.
A nightmare ride for a Lyft driver. He was punched by a passenger who then apparently tried to spit on him. The attack happened when she refused to wear a face mask inside of his car. KCAL9's Candace Crone has this shocking video.
Dashcam video captured a Lyft driver getting pummeled by a passenger. Pedro Cubias says it all started after he picked the woman up on Rosecrans and Crenshaw in Torrance last month and noticed she wasn't wearing a mask. When he asked her to put one on, he says things escalated from there.
So he said what happened was he took her to the destination that is set on the app. She was already mad because of the mask, so she got more mad because apparently the location he took her wasn't the one that she had requested. But when he looked on the app, that was the location.
Cubias says he didn't start recording the commotion until after the woman refused to put on a face covering and started shouting. He ordered her out and was smacked as he reached for his charger in the back seat.
Don't touch me.
In the video, you can also see the woman allegedly spit towards him as she got out of the car. With the ongoing pandemic, he and his wife are now worried about his health.
Hopefully she wasn't positive and he doesn't come out positive, as well as other health condition. Now he's having problems with his eye, headaches.
Torrance police are investigating the incident.
So a very unfortunate circumstance with an escalated situation gets completely out of hand. And again, the controversy over wearing a mask or having to wear a mask, again, this is policy from Uber and Lyft. It's going to be up to the drivers if they want to enforce it. Most drivers on the road are probably going to enforce it, even though I know a few of you are saying doesn't really matter. And again, that's going to be up to the driver. But again, the policy is that all riders and drivers have to wear masks during the entire trip. And then if you put in the wrong destination, you got to kind of figure that out or something beforehand. One of the things that you could do as a driver is verify the end location when they're getting in the car and you're starting the trip, making sure that you know exactly where they're going. But if they say a different place than where it shows on the map, that's something where you can also put together and say, okay, well, something's going on. If you can update the location, and then hopefully that'll help diffuse that situation a little bit further as well. So going back to the article real quick, just to wrap this article up, it says Cubius said he was speaking out, so this does not happen to another Lyft driver. Unfortunately, it will happen again. If it can be limited down or even stopped, that would be amazing. But unfortunately, yeah, stuff will still happen. He wants, justice for this to stop. His wife said it's not fair. And of course it's not. Nobody should be putting their hands on anybody else or spitting, being disrespectful that way. We're all people. Come on. We're all in this together. Let's be respectful and care about each other. And so Lyft responded to the incident in a Thursday statement that said, safety is a fundamental to Lyft. The behavior shown in the video is unacceptable and has no place on the Lyft platform. Upon learning of the incident, we removed the rider from the Lyft community. We have been in touch with the driver to offer support and are in contact with law enforcement to assist with their investigation. The Torrance Police Department said it was investigating the incident. So the whole thing right here, though, is that I have a question. It says, upon learning of the incident. So did they learn the incident from the driver themselves, or did they learn it from the news? Because sometimes these incidences can escalate a Lyft's response when they are on the news versus when a driver gets hold of Lyft and tells them what's going on. So that's the only thing I want to know, if Lyft actually learned from it from the driver and actually took real action right away, or if it was because the news organizations reached out to them and said, what is going on with this? Here's the video, and it was done that way. So this just brings up safety issues again, and what can happen to make it more safe. Hopefully this did not have a fake or false name or fake account. Hopefully this was the person and they're able to find out who they are so they can continue that investigation and bring justice for this particular driver because this is completely unacceptable behavior from anybody and should not be tolerated in any way, shape, or form. So hopefully they are able to do that. But again, this raises safety concerns and safety issues. So it just brings up the whole thing again about verification, accountability, and everybody being on a level platform there. So if all drivers have to be vetted, I can understand that aspect, and then passengers should have some sort of verification as well too. What are your thoughts on this? Comment below, let me know. And also Mr. Cubius and your wife, if you are watching, I invite you both on to share your story a little bit more so you can at least give more perspective because I know within the news there's a lot of things that are cut out or maybe spun a certain way. So I do invite you on to share your experience and share what had happened and put it into a little bit more detail. So like I said, if you are watching this or if somebody knows him and is watching this and can pass that to him, again, I'd invite him on to share that story. With that being said, that's the end of this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded. Also, make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. And as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, your delivery drivers, and your shoppers. And we'll see you next time.
And at the end of the day, the message is clear. Don't mess with the Uber driver. Leave the Uber driver alone.